Listen, I want to mention a couple of three issues with you very quickly, and then I want to do what we do most and best at a town hall meeting, and that is respond to your questions or comments. First of all, since we just came from the Audubon Society, which is a great facility not far from here, they have bald eagle there, and they have owls and also other animals, and I'm a great admirer of the Audubon Society. But anyway, Republicans for Environmental Protection have endorsed me, and I just want to say I'm grateful for it. And this brings up the issue of climate change, and I want to tell you that it's real. I want to tell you it has to be addressed, and I believe that we should heed the words of the former Prime Minister of England, Tony Blair, who put it this way: suppose that we who believe that climate change is real are wrong, and we adapt clean technologies and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Then we have just given our kids a cleaner world. But suppose we are right and do nothing. Suppose we are right that greenhouse gas emissions are on the increase and climate temperatures all over the world are up and icebergs are melting and there is significant changes affecting our climate that are going on right now as a result of greenhouse gas emissions, and we do nothing. Then what kind of a planet are we going to hand our kids and our grandkids? My friends, I don't think we ought to do that. And I'd like to tell you, I have traveled all over the world, usually at your expense. I've been to the South Pole, I've been to the Arctic, I have been to the Brazilian rainforest, I've been to places in Alaska, and I have seen where the earth is getting warmer and its effects. Now, I'll be glad to continue the debate with people who don't believe that it's real. And that discussion needs to go on, and I respect it. But shouldn't we do what Tony Blair said and to err on the side of caution? And there are a lot of things we can do without having you to put on a sweater and shiver in the dark this winter. The fact is that nuclear power is an integral and vital part of any improvement that we are going to make in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Now, nuclear power works. It is the French, 80% of their electricity is generated by nuclear power. We all like to imitate the French, as you know. In fact, on my way back from my last trip to Iraq on the 4th of July, I stopped at his invitation and visited with the new president of France, Mr. Sarkozy, who is pro-American, which shows that if you live long enough, anything is possible. So, he's the first, I think, pro-American leader since Lafayette, I'm not sure. So, but the French are selling electricity to the Germans. The French are meeting their Kyoto standards. And nuclear power has to, I'm for wind, I'm for tide, I'm for solar. By the way, I'm also for that wind project up off of Cape Cod as well. But the fact is that all of those sources of energy need to be developed, but I think at this moment in time, nuclear power would make a great contribution. Finally, I'd like to mention to you, there's a perfect storm here in this respect. We have got to reduce our dependency on foreign oil. It is an absolute national security requirement. When you look where our foreign oil comes from Venezuela, where Chavez, that dictator there, is palling around with Castro and is doing all kinds of anti-American things. Look at Nigeria, where there's unstable government, where we get our oil. Look at Iran, where we don't get our oil, but Iran gets some $46 billion a year from oil sales. Look at Russia, which is awash in petrodollars. And look at Mr. Putin's behavior, including just a couple of days ago, where he was extremely rude to our Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense. So, Mr. Putin, in my view, wants to restore the old Russian Empire. And unfortunately, fortunately, he's not going to be able to do that. But when you look around the world, we've got to reduce this dependency. My friends, about a year and a half ago, there was a suicide bomber attack on an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. It failed. I am told by experts that if that suicide bomber attack had succeeded, oil would have gone to $150 a barrel overnight. Now, we cannot afford this kind of vulnerability. And that's why I think it's both climate change and the reduction of dependence on foreign oil are now national security issues.